occurred within. There was a hard yet gentle knock on the door. She paused, first looking at the time and then at her phone, which was constantly buzzing with alerts. There was an electrifying sense of expectation. Kirk appeared to be larger than life as she opened the door, as if the space itself had shrunk around him. He continued, "We need to talk," in a calm voice that carried a weight that suddenly made her heart accelerate. Although the words were straightforward, there was a tangible sense of tension behind them. With a false grin on her lips, Jasmine attempted to keep her cool while concealing the doubt that was simmering within. "About what?" she inquired, warily scanning the flat for any indication that she could comprehend the purpose of this unexpected visit. Kirk's eyes remained fixed. He appeared focused, resolute, and unfazed by the quiet observation of the vacant apartment. The world waited outside, and Rasheeda would come in a matter of minutes. A few late-night passers-by were startled by the sound of her automobile driving up. Her brows narrowed as she took in the sight as she went outside, her heels tapping forcefully on the sidewalk. The tension radiated like heat from a flame as she saw Kirk walk in. Immediately, the air was heavy with unspoken words, emotions were running high, and a storm was on its way. Inside, Kirk and Jasmine's talk rapidly became heated. What had begun as a cool, collected conversation quickly turned into accusations, miscommunications, and angry outbursts. "You can't just show up uninvited and expect everything to be fine," Jasmine said in a shaky but forceful voice. Kirk gave a calm, almost icy reaction. "I didn't come here to ask for permission. I came here in search of answers." The words hung thick in the air, wanting to be heard. Neighbors reported hearing an argument, language that alluded to betrayal, long-standing resentment, and the disclosure of private secrets. The drama wasn't only between two individuals. It might have a cascading effect on everyone involved. Friends, relatives, and even admirers who had spent months following their journey on the internet. Rasheeda's presence 10 minutes later completely altered the situation. Her presence was like a sudden rush of wind, disturbing everything within as she pounded hard on the door. The unmistakable vibe of someone who expected accountability stopped Kirk and Jasmine in their tracks. "What's going on here?" Rasheeda said in a harsh, suspicious, and hardly restrained voice. Rage. Jasmine sensed the tension in the room as Kirk slowly turned, his countenance opaque. In a tense quiet, the three of them stood watching each other's emotions and figuring out what to do next in a wordless struggle of wills. Phones out, recording views of a scenario that appeared ripped from a reality show script. Fans online were already speculating wildly, murmured onlookers outside. Rasheeda finally discovered, "Kirk is in serious trouble," one commenter said. The family was split up, with each member attempting to make sense of what had happened from a distance. Inside, the talk got more intimate as Kirk disclosed long-buried grudges, while some reached out to give support and others condemned actions without full understanding. "You don't understand what I've been going through," he added, his voice tight with passion as past disputes with Rasheeda and Jasmine surfaced in the heat of the moment. "Maybe if you had communicated instead of hiding, none of this would be happening." Jasmine shot back, her eyes flaming. Refusing to be ignored, Rasheeda took a step. "I am here to make sure no one plays games." "Enough with the secrets," she said in a cold tone. With accusations flying back and forth and tales of betrayals, broken promises, and miscommunications piling on top of one another, the room appeared to vibrate with raw emotion, each word striking like a hammer, revealing weaknesses and driving facts into the open. Fans were captivated by the revelations, each more startling than the last, and social media was ablaze with conjecture and criticism. Anybody who had followed their entwined lives would have been captivated by the drama's flawless timing. As the evening wore on, surprising turns occurred, and Kirk acknowledged doing things that shocked both ladies, revelations that no one had expected. Rasheeda's presence served as both a barrier and a shield, while Jasmine's responses were a mix of shock, hurt, and a restrained rage. Catalyst arguments intensified, halted, and then intensified once again as a result of her demands for openness, which forced every secret, no matter how painful, into the bright light. Every beat maintained the highest level of intensity, interspersed with silences and pauses where the room felt the weight of old frustrations. Snippets of talks slipped beyond the apartment walls, and the neighbors' curiosity evolved to intrigue as unedited, raw, and unyielding emotions surfaced. Phrases like, "I trusted you," and "How could you?" became the evening's music, while fans debated affiliations, motivations, and probable repercussions online. Relationships were stressed to the breaking point, and what had started off as a seemingly casual visit had turned into a dramatic reveal of personal stakes. Finally, secrets were revealed. Rasheeda's phone buzzed persistently as Kirk started to describe a string of choices that had caused miscommunications for months. She looked at it, her countenance changing from guarded wrath to the three of them came to the realization that the evening was far from finished, and that the drama that was developing would have an impact on those outside of the flat. The tension was thick enough to cut with a knife, yet there were also subtle movements, glances exchanged, and quiet talks taking place that suggested future clashes or reconciliations. By midnight, the situation had developed into a complicated web of accusations, confessions, and startling admissions. Every breath served as a warning that one mistake might turn into disaster. Every character's personal stakes were exposed, including Kirk's objectives, Jasmine's responses, and Rasheeda's conclusions. Everyone who came into contact with the drama was drawn in by its magnetic pull, as their weaknesses were revealed in ways that did not allow for pretending. What transpired was a masterclass in reality TV style, tension, strategic pauses, and side commentary. From neighbors to devoted fans, social media platforms were similar with speculation, theories, and side commentary, creating a virtual audience that seemed as invested as the people inside the apartment. Kirk, Jasmine, and Rasheeda handled the constant strain of scrutiny, premeditated revelations, and emotional confrontations in various ways, each of their unique personalities and backgrounds influencing their strategy, adding layers of intricacy that captivated onlookers. As the evening went on, alliances changed, transient truces emerged, and underlying tensions suggested future conflicts. It was evident that this one evening, just 10 minutes had passed between Kirk's and Rasheeda's arrivals, setting off a series of events that would reverberate well beyond the apartment's walls. Every statement, gesture, and look served as fodder for conjecture. Even though the night was still young, it had already proven to be unforgettable, and the tale taking place inside Jasmine's apartment promised more intricate turns that kept viewers captivated. Every moment was heightened by the knowledge that everyone was watching, waiting for the next dramatic turn. With only 10 minutes separating Kirk's entry and Rasheeda's arrival, it was evident that this one evening had set off a series of events that would reverberate far beyond the apartment's walls. As the night went on, alliances changed, transient truces formed, and underlying tensions hinted at future confrontations. The world was watching, waiting for the next dramatic move, and every word, gesture, and glance became fuel for conjecture. The night, yet early, had the room felt smaller now, the air heavier with unsaid tension as Kirk, Jasmine, and the tale taking place within Jasmine's apartment promised more twists, deeper discoveries, and a